Hey everyone's JackelWolf coming at you with a brand new series. This is a series where I am going to reach into the past and pull out some of the gems from my collection. I've been gaming for, 30 some odd years, so I do have quite a few games. Not all of them are playable anymore, but there are certainly some that are. So I thought I would start with this game. This is Tropico 2 Pirates Cove. When I was originally thinking about doing a showcase on this game, I kind of thought this was a add-on to either Tropico 1 or Tropico 2, but it is actually a standalone game. I believe I purchased this as a part of a pack, which is probably why my memory of this is a little bit fuzzy, but gameplay on this is very, very reminiscent of the early Tropicos and even the late Tropicos. You are on an island. In this case, though, you are a pirate king, and you sort of basically build up your island and increase your pirating capabilities. So I'm just sort of playing through the campaign mode. I think I do about 3 of the campaigns here in just this little sort of speed run through. To start off, you have to sort of get your pirates some grog. That's your first mission. It's pretty straightforward, pretty quick, but you can see I am sort of placing a brewery. I'm placing a brothel, which is a place where the pirates go to have a little bit of fun. So the next thing I got to do is I got to build an actual tavern. So this one, like I said, was pretty quick. This game is, it's a little old. It's from 2003, so the graphics aren't the best. Zooming in and out is leveled. It's not a nice smooth roll, but for a game this old, I still think it plays quite well. I played for about an hour here today, and I was really kind of enjoying it, although it did take me a little bit of time to get the hang of the controls once again. But to start, basically, you've got to start with the basics. You got a grog for your pirates. You've got wenches for your pirates. Now, one thing that this game I think was pretty interesting in, at least for its time, was that it is very, very even when it comes to male and female pirates. You can certainly have both in the game. Now, I mean, I suppose you could play it however you want, but it is set up so that there is no sort of gender bias when it comes to pirates. And actually, one of the main characters in the campaign is a female pirate. I don't know if her name appears here. It's I'll put a little note down below what the name is. I probably can't read it on the screen, certainly not while the game's going by pretty quick. But second level, you've got to basically start building up your arsenal. So you have to get an iron mine as well as a cannery, and that's the way all the levels sort of proceed. There is more of a sandbox mode as well. So, and there's certainly things in here that we will not get to in this sort of playthrough or speed play. I don't know what we want to call it. Showcase, I think, is sort of more of how I am thinking of it. So I played this quite a bit back in the day. I really, really enjoyed it. Tough to say whether I liked this one better than Tropico 1. It certainly got a different feel of it. One thing about the game, you just saw a little pop-up there. Basically, most of your workers are captives. There's 2 ways of getting captives. One is that there will be a shipwreck and you'll pick up some random number of captives. The other is when you're a little bit further along, you get your own pirate ships. You send those out on pirate missions, and some of those missions will bring back captives. There are also wealthy captives, which you can ransom or you can keep on your island for a bit. They will gain in value. I believe the game rationalizes it as they are using your resources, so you get more money from them when they leave the island. The only drawback of that is they do take up slots in your taverns, in your wenching areas, in your gaming dens that your pirates could be using. Because they do not work themselves, they only, I guess, increase in value. Now, your pirates can be overseers in the different buildings, or they can go on a ship. I believe the game states that pirates will always prefer to be on a ship rather than on land. And as you get more and more ships in the game, you have more and more pirates. The game also allows you to turn captives into pirates, though they turn into like a low-level pirate. Now, I've spent a lot of this speed build through zoomed in a bit. There you can see I just sort of placed the dock. It's not very intuitive. It doesn't default to automatically matching up with your roads. That is one thing in the game, is everything has to be connected by a road. As far as I know, there are no buildings that are sort of loose from the roads. But other than that, it's a pretty standard Tropico feel to it, with that little pirate twist. Here's me trying to place the iron, I think it's the furnace, which turns the iron into pig iron, and then my next building is going to end up being the forge, which turns the pig iron into swords. I've already placed the cannery. That's making food for my pirates, and it'll build up in the dock, and whenever the ship docks, you'll end up getting it'll end up resupplying, and then you can send it out on more missions. Now I'm sort of going around looking at the different characters there. I think right around there is when I picked up a pirate and made them an overseer in a particular job. It helps increase the output of that particular building. And I think we're just going to watch. I'll probably zoom in here if I remember correctly. Now, you might have noticed that I did not capture the screen quite right. There's about maybe a tenth of the screen that's missing from the bottom. I don't think I'm missing anything from the top, because I can kind of see the little pirate overseer in the corner. He gives me little tips every now and again. So I think it's just about the bottom tenth of the screen that I've kind of cut off here. So that's something for me to think about in the future. These things are pretty funny when they're all sped up, but they got these little cutscenes in between the missions. The same one every time. But pretty standard for games at this time. And this is the third mission. It's a little bit more complicated than the other ones. We had to get our pirates out on a number of missions to bring back, I think it was 3,000 or 4,000 gold. Now, there's not much you get to do when you send out your pirate ship. That part becomes pretty... you just sort of click and release. So you choose what sort of mission the pirates are going on, whether it's like a cruise, which will hunt down other ships and take captives, or I guess money. You can raid settlements. You can raid settlements looking for a particular skilled worker. Skilled worker would work in only one type of building, but it will give like a big bonus for it. Here I'm sending out the ship for I believe it's for a cruise. No, I'm raiding a settlement. That's going to get me a couple more captives. I think I actually show a map. The map screen. There's not much right now because I haven't done a lot of exploring. Here's me pressing captives into pirates just so I can have a overseer on land. And again, you can't see what I'm doing down at the bottom. This is where I'm kind of going through all the different missions that we can send them on. Right now I'm letting my pirates rest. They're getting their grog. Once the wenching building is going to be done there, they'll be heading there as well. I just placed down the shipyard. It's one of the components of this mission. Nothing super hard yet. It's just a little bit of balancing your wood production mainly. That's what all your buildings need to be built. This is me out on a cruise. You can see them picking up different ships. This is sort of the end screen. I got 4 wealthy captives. I think it was 1 new pirate and 1 dead pirate. One pirate died during the boarding or whatever. So my pirates are going out. They're enjoying their time on the town. And you're still getting the shipwrecks, getting in some extra captives as well. I haven't built a whole lot of new stuff in this one. The missions are not cumulative, so you don't gain the resources from one to the other. You got to sort of start with what the next campaign mission gives you. I think even in the description it says after the first one that the main pirate comes back and rearranges everything that you've done. So it is a sort of a lighthearted game as well. I was reading in, I think it was on the Wikipedia, that they threw out historical stuff in favor of, the stories and the lore and the myth surrounding pirates. So definitely a little bit lighthearted. I think the overseers, rather than using whips, they use towels, though it's kind of hard to see in the animation. You got to get right in there, and it doesn't zoom in super close. Probably, I know for a fact I've zoomed in as far as it would go. You might not notice it. Like, this is probably as close in as it will get, but it's certainly I don't know. It's certainly close enough to play the game. 2003, graphics have certainly gotten a lot better since then. Here's me coming back with a bunch of captives. Everybody's, sort of either going to work as a captive, or they're, a pirate already and they're heading out for a night on the town. Placing the gambling den and the betting pit, I think is what it was called. Though I don't even know if I get them built before I end up finishing off this episode. Or not this episode, this particular mission. After this, I think it does get a little bit more complicated, so let me know if you want to see maybe a proper Let's Play on this. Like I said, this is sort of a 1 hour showcase, sort of condensed down into, it's probably going to be about 13 minutes when it's all said and done. But it is a fun game. I do enjoy playing it. It's one of those, if you like the Tropico series, you'll probably get a kick out of this. I know it's out there on Steam. I have seen it there. I went and double checked just to make sure it was even available anymore. But I think this is pretty much going to be it for this one, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this idea going back into my archives. I think I'm going to end up calling the series something along the lines of, hey, I used to play that. There's certainly a lot of games out there that I've played, and, it would be nice to kind of show them off. So leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this. I am JackelWolf, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!